हरि ओम ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्चन्मन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ओम श्री महागणपतये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्रीशङ्कराचार्यस्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।
नमस्ते महोदय। लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी।
यस भगिनी। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ दशमोऽध्यायः विभूतियोगः। श्री भगवान् उवाच भूय एव महाबाहो शृणु मे परमौ वचः यत्तेऽहं प्रीयमाणाय वक्ष्यामि हितकाम्यया।
नेक्स्ट।
के ललिता भगिनी।
यस सर। न मे विदुःसुरगणाः प्रभवन्न महर्षयः अहमादिर्हि देवानां महर्षीणां च सर्वशः।
गुड। नेक्स्ट।
श्री लक्ष्मी भगिनी। श्री लक्ष्मी भगिनी। गुरुमूर्ति महोदय।
मैम चले से
यस यस भगिनी, गो अहेड। श्री लक्ष्मी भगिनी।
यो मामजमनादिं च वेत्ति लोकमहेश्वरम् असम्मूढसमर्थ्येषु सर्वपापै प्रमुच्यते।
फर्स्ट लाइन अगेन।
यो मामजमनादिं च वेत्ति लोकमहेश्वरम् असम्मूढसमर्थ्येषु सर्वपापैः प्रमुच्यते।
ओके, गुड।
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय।
बुद्धिर्ज्ञानमसं मोहः क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो भावः भयं च यमवे च।
You can pause at the end of every padam. No? Buddhirjnanamassammohah क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो भावः भयं च भयमेव च. You give that pause and have the same speed of recitation. It will be very easy to grasp. Can you try again?
बुद्धिर्ज्ञानमसम्मोहः क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो भावः भयं च भयमेव च।
भयं च भयमेव च।
भयं च भयमेव च। भयं च भयमेव च।
नेक्स्ट।
शारदा राजन भगिनी।
अहिंसा समता तुष्टिः तपोदानै यशो यशः भवन्ति भावा भूतानां मत्त एव पृथग्विधाः।
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
महर्ष्यः सप्त पूर्वे चत्वारो मनवस्तथा मद्भावा मानसा जाताः येषान् लोक इमाः प्रजाः.
It's not Maharshya. Maharshayah. Maharishigal. Mahar
Rishayas.
Rishayah. Mahat Rishayah. That is all the
All the rishis.
great rishis. Mahat means great. All the rishis are rishis. Mahat Rishayah. Maharshayah. Not Maharshya. Maharshayah.
Maharshayah. Maharshayas sapta purve.
Correct. Can you chant again?
Maharshayas sapta purve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jataha yeshan loka ima prajaha.
Good. So we'll continue with the new shloka for today.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini.
Yeta vibhuti yogancha
एतौ विभूतियोगञ्च
mama yo veti tatvatah
मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः
Yeta vibhuti yogancha mama yo veti tatvatah
एतौ विभूतियोगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः एतौ विभूतियोगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः.
Not vibhuti, it's vibhuti.
विभूति
Bhulokam.
ओके. एतौ विभूतियोगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः.
And first one, it is not etau. Etau. It is etam vibhutim, eta vibhutim. I heard it as etau. It is not etau.
Yes, sir.
Eta vibhuti yogancha mama yo veti tatvatah.
एतौ विभूतियोगञ्च मम
Etau.
एतौ
Ah.
एतौ
Tau, not ta. Etau vibhutim.
एतौ विभूतिञ्च
Yes.
एतौ विभूतियोगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः एतौ विभूतियोगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः.
Good.
Sheila Shinde Bhagini. Okay, now Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
So vikampena yogena.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
So vikambena yogena
Yujyate natra samshayah.
युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
So vikampena yogena. Yujyate natra samshayah.
So vikambena yogena युज्यते नात्र संशयः. So vikambena yogena युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Eta vibhuti yogancha mama yo veti tatvatah.
एतां विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेति तत्त्वतः एतां विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेति तत्त्वतः.
Good. Next.
Veena Fani Shri Bhagini.
So vikampena yogena yujyate natra samshayah.
Namaste Mahoday.
Namaste.
So vikampeena yogena युज्यते नात्र संशयः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Sharad Chavan Mahodaya.
First line 2 times.
Yes, sir. Namo Namaha Mohoday.
Namo Namaha.
Sir, first line 2 times.
Yes.
Etam vibhuti yogam cha mama yo veti tattvataha. Etam vibhuti yogam cha yo veti. Etam vibhuti yogam cha mama yo veti tattvataha.
Good. Next.
Vijay Lakshmi R. Bagini.
Second line 2 times.
Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bagini.
Full shloka slowly once.
Okay, Mahodaya. एता विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bagini.
एता विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bagini.
नमस्ते महोदय.
Namaste.
एता विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bagini.
एताव विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
K. Lalita Bagini.
एता विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Good. Next.
Sorry. Sharada Rajan Bagini.
एताव विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
One more person.
Gurumurthy Mahodaya.
Yes, ma'am. एता विभूति योगञ्च मम यो वेति तत्त्वतः सोऽविकम्पेन योगेन युज्यते नात्र संशयः.
Okay. So Bhagavan now says that he has already spoken in some of the slokas of chapter 7 as well as chapter 9 and 8 also to some extent. He has talked about his vibhutis. So he says that he is now going to continue on the vibhuti. Vibhuti is nothing but glory of Bhagavan. The glories of Bhagavan is vibhuti. Everything that we see in this world, be a river or a mountain or a tree, everything that's a beauty, the intelligence that we have in those creation is all the glories of Bhagavan. So that is what we understood in the 7th chapter, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So vibhuti, bhetam vibhutim yogam cha. Yogam can also be taken in this particular context as power. Okay. In many places, yoga will have different types of names. For example, yoga can also be a topic. In the case of 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter was Arjuna Vishada Yoga. That means it was supposed to be the topic on Arjuna's sorrow. Then third chapter was Karma Yoga, topic on karma. So yoga can mean topic. Yoga can also mean power in this particular case. Then we also had said Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. We had seen that also in one of the shlokas, in which yoga means the blessings. Like somebody has to have a Kalyana Yoga. That means he has been blessed with this thing. Or employment yoga, or good education yoga, Dana Yoga, which means a kind of some kind of wealth in those kinds of areas. A wealth of this thing or blessing, whatever is required, is called yoga. In this particular context of this sloka, we can take yoga to be power. Etam vibhutim yogam cha. This particular glories and the power of my glories, mama means my, yaha veti tattvataha. The person, yaha veti tattvataha. The one who is able to understand that in reality. Okay. So this is what is very important. The one, if you look at that way, Bhagavan says that do not have faith in me. He says, Veti means know me, have knowledge of me, understand me. So that is a big difference between our religion and other religions. Spirituality and religiosity, this is the difference. In the case of religiousness, what we do is that we have faith. We have a faith that by doing so and so things regularly, we are going to be taken care by God. We do not know what is that God. So we go on the faith. So long as the situation, as I told you the other day, so long as the situation that you are facing is not stronger than the faith that you have, then you are okay. But when you have some kind of situation or calamity in life, which is far stronger than the faith that you had, because you did not have a understanding, you have faith, but that there is a God. Then that problem that you face is so strong, much stronger than the faith. Then we question who is this God? I have been praying him every day. I don't think there's anything called God. So you immediately start jumping to the conclusion that there is no God. That is because you have no understanding. You have simply had a faith. If you look at that way, following Hinduism can be a faith, or following Hinduism can be with knowledge. And what Bhagavan says here is that Yaha Veti Tattvataha. He does not say that people have to have faith in what they mean. He does not say Arjuna, that Arjuna, I am just telling you, please do it. Like a father telling a son, no, I am telling you, do it. He's not telling that. He says that you have to understand, you have to know. Yaha Veti Tattvataha in reality. So when a person is able to get that level of knowledge and that level of understanding, that everything that is there is the glory of Bhagavan, power of the glories of Bhagavan, and they know that in reality. Once they have that kind of a firm understanding and firm knowledge, saha avikampena. Avikampena means they can never be shaken. Come what may, whatever may be the situation, they will not have any kinds of doubt. The person was just having a simple shraddha or a faith, had a doubt in some of the situations, whether there is an existence of something called God whom he has been praying for so many years. But once they have understood in reality, saha avikampena, they have, even in terms of calamities that they may face, there can be tsunami which is striking them, but still they are absolutely clear that I know the reality of Bhagavan. I know what is Bhagavan. Saha avikampena. Then once they don't, the unshaken, they have got absolute unshaken understanding of this. So even if you are going to question them about the God and all, they are not going to suspect that. They have got tremendous amount of understanding. That is something, even at the, I was telling the other day, supposing if you have very good understanding, at any time in the day or night, I ask you midnight, 2 o'clock, I ask you, or when you are having some kind of a challenge situation, I ask you what is 2 plus 2, you'll always say 4. That knowledge will never get shaken up just because you are having a challenging or a tough situation. Similarly, once a person has understood the Bhagavan by his glories and also by his power, yogam and vibhutim, sa avikampena, in terms of even tough situations, he does not have any kind of doubts, or he can never be shaken in terms of his shraddha. Yogena yujyate, then he is going to be continuously endowed with that kind of connecting with the Bhagavan. Na atra samshayaha. Na samshayaha atra. In this, there is no doubt. So a person who is able to understand Bhagavan in reality and not just have faith, those people will be having unshaken understanding, and they once they have unshaken understanding, they will be able to continuously get connected with the God. So if you look at that way, we have to now redefine bhakti. Bhakti is not going to be on blind faith. It will not be on blind faith. Knowledge of Ishvara leads to bhakti. So now we are trying to understand and have knowledge of Ishvara. The knowledge is that everything in the creation is all is manifestation. That's the knowledge. So knowledge of Ishvara leads us to bhakti. Why it leads us to bhakti is that we have knowledge of Ishvara, but we are yet to get the recognition of Ishvara. We understand that this is all Ishvara, but we are not able to understand that Brahman and the Brahman in me are same. So we have got understanding is there, but we are not able to recognize that. We are still struggling to get into that level of getting to know that our Atma is Brahman, our Atma is Ishvara, Ishvara is this. So we still have a kind of a difficulty. So bhakti and spiritual practices, whatever we have, bhakti is primarily worshipping Bhagavan with a very clear understanding is bhakti. Without understanding and doing religious things is not bhakti, it is faith. And that faith will suddenly fail. But sometime you say that the person who was going to a temple regularly, the fellow will stop going to a temple. The fellow who was doing some kind of religious activity in the house will stop doing it because he was just doing things on faith. But here in this particular case, he's got knowledge. So the faith, the once he has knowledge, there's unshaken understanding about Bhagavan. So in this case, the bhakti and the spiritual practice that they do will help them in terms of preparing them. They are going to get into the we are talking about Antakarana Chutti. Antakarana Chutti only helps us in terms of understanding this knowledge. So if you look at Karma Yoga, we were continuously talking about Antakarana Chutti. We want to have a very clear mind. Only a good mind which is understanding that in this world the purpose is this, everything else is like this, and then we cannot be driven by our own senses. We need to understand and have a Karma Yoga attitude. So that kind of Karma Yoga attitude and Bhagishvara being a Paladata, all those things were helping us in terms of Antakarana Chutti. We are able to have a cleansing of the mind. Mind is becoming very clear. Once the mind becomes clear, then we are able to understand Ishvara's manifestation. When the knowledge starts coming into the mind, once the clarity is there. Once the clarity is there, knowledge comes in, but still we are not able to recognize Ishvara. So the bhakti and the knowledge with devotion with knowledge becomes bhakti. And when the bhakti is going to be so strong, the spiritual practices and bhakti, when both of them are done very properly, then they have a preparedness in themselves. They get their minds absolutely prepared in terms of getting the cognizance that is required in terms of the Brahma within themselves. That preparedness is called in adhikaritvam. They become eligible. They graduate to get that kind of position of understanding their own self. Adhikaratvam. So preparedness, which is adhikaratvam, is the only thing that is going to help us to lead to enlightenment or moksha. So I am sure that you'll be able to understand the sequence of everything, right? One thing is delusion to Karma Yoga to Jnanam, Jnanam to understanding to the Vibhuti that we have. From the Vibhuti, we are still not able to have a very clear understanding of our own self. There is still some ignorance is there. So, but we have got a bhakti because we are able to see everything as manifestation of Ishvara. So there is a strong understanding of Ishvara, but we do not still know Ishvara. So the bhakti and the spiritual practices will help us in terms of preparing ourselves. And once we continuously prepare in terms of this kind of devotion, evam satata yuktanam, we are also ananya chintayantovam, all those things. It doesn't mean that somebody has to be a karma yogi only in some time of the day. Even you can be a karma yogi when you are washing your dish in the sink. That time also you can be karma yogi attitude. The attitude will be changed totally, and that prepares a person in terms of getting this knowledge. So that is what Bhagavan says, that this is what. So avikampena yogena yujyate atra na samshaya. There is no doubt in this. Okay. Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
Namaste, Mahodaya.
Have I jumped? I think jumped on slide, right? Yeah. Aham sarvasya prabhavah.
Aham sarvasya prabhavah. Aham sarvasya prabhavah.
Matta sarvam pravartate.
मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते
Good. Next.
वीणा फानिश्री भगिनी
इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम्
इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम्
बुधा भावसमन्विताः
बुधा भावसमन्विताः बुधा भावसमन्विताः
इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् बुधा भावसमन्विताः
इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् बुधा भावसमन्विताः इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् बुधा भावसमन्विताः
Good.
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते
Good. Next.
श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी
इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् बुधा भावसमन्विताः
इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् बुधा भावसमन्विताः इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् बुधा भावसमन्विताः
Good. Next.
शारदा राजन भगिनी
First line 2 times.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते
Good. Next.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी
Second line 2 times.
इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः
Good. Next.
शरद चमन महोदय
Full shloka once slowly. अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः.
Okay, I think what I would suggest is you try to have a pencil and put a mark in the place where you have to stop the every pada. Because the first line is Aham Sarvasya Prabhavah. That is one padam. Matta Sarvam Pravartate. Next line is Iti Matva Bhajante Mam. Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. Then only the meter will be okay. Otherwise, what happens? Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanvitaha. That does not have a proper meter. Okay. You may perhaps put a small pencil mark in the book that you are following.
Yes,
so that you don't have this confusion.
Okay, sir. Okay, धन्यवाद.
Next.
मृणालिनी गोपालन भगिनी
Full shloka.
आम् महोदय अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते माम् बुधा भावसमन्विताः।
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bagini.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः।
Good. Next.
Vijay Lakshmi R Bagini.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः।
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bagini.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः।
Good. Next.
Sheila Shinde Bagini.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः।
Explain again.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्सर्वं प्रवर्तते
Mattas sarvam pravartate.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते।
Okay, good. Like one more person.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bagini.
अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवः मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः।
Good. So Bhagavan is continuing to say the same things that he has already told a few times before. He already told that I am the person who was a creator. I am Anadi. Mahashaya Saptapurve Chatvaro Manavastata. He has talked about that also in few slokas before. He says that for everything in this creation, he is Anadi. He is what is this? Yo ma majamanadim cha. Yo ma ajam anadim cha. He has already told about it. I am Anadi, beginningless. I am ajam. I am. I do not have a birth. I am not born. I am unborn. So he has told about it plenty of times. He's again telling that aham sarvasya prabhavaha. For everything that is created now in this world, whatever is there in the creation, it's all through him. I am the creator. So sarvasya prabhavaha. Everything in the everything that you come across in the world, be Chaitanya or it is Jada or Chaitanya, everything is creation of Bhagavan. Aham. When he says aham, he is talking that he is not talking about Lord Krishna. He is talking that he is the Parabrahma. Parabrahmam. He is the ultimate Brahman. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. I am the one who has created everything that you come across. Matta sarvam pravartate. Everything is sustained in the world because of me. Pravartate. It's all sustained because of me. Bhagavan says, there's a small difference. If you look at that, there are a lot of things in contemporary world that the child is not taken care by parents, the child is taken care by some kind of a caretaker, right? But Bhagavan says that the entire creation, Matta Sarvam Pravartate, I sustain, I take care. He has still, though some of the people are now in the contemporary world, they find that even managing is becoming difficult. They have, even in the house also when they are there, they have a 24/7 caretaker for the child. They are not able to care. But Bhagavan says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavaha, Matta Sarvam Pravartate, I take care, I sustain everything. And when he says sustain everything means what? Whether it is going to be a creation, even destruction is also his responsibility, because as far as Bhagavan is concerned, anything that is created in time will undergo changes. Viparinamate, anything that comes in time, you look at everything. Maybe a car, or maybe a refrigerator, or maybe a washing machine, or a tree, or anything in the creation, anything that is created, which has come into existence in a period of time, will start deteriorating over a period of time. And then, like the way it came into existence, that the disappearance also is definitely going to be there. We have already seen that in the second chapter. So the dissolution need not be buried as a kind of death, etc. It is just a kind of undergoing changes. The changes will be there for anything that is created. Okay. The pot will have a change. The pot will undergo a change because it is created. The clay need not undergo a change. So if you look at that way, there's Satya and Mithya. Mithya is what is looking as a true thing. For example, if I'm wearing a shirt, the cloth is what? You can say it is a Mithya. The t-shirt is a Mithya. What is the Satya in this? Because Satya is going to be the cloth. Now, when you look at the cloth, the cloth is again Mithya, the thread is going to be Satya. Then again, when you look at thread is the cotton is Satya and thread is Mithya. So when you start negating, when you start looking into every one of these analysis that you do, keep on doing, finally everything will start unfolding into one Brahman. That is the only thing that is going to be there. Rest of them are all transformations. Rest everything that is we have in this world are all changes. Like that, this T-shirt will definitely undergo a deterioration over a period of time. So the Mithya portion of it, which is created by Maya, has to undergo deterioration and disappearance. Whereas Satya, which is a Brahman, which will not undergo a change, and that Brahman is what we have also. Ishvara is the same Ishvara that we have. So he says that not only that I have created everything, but I also sustain everything. Iti matva, if this is understood by people, and bhajante mam, and then they worship me, Buddha, those wise people, bhava samanvitaha, they are able to be absolutely having a clarity in their vision. Okay, so he is now telling that we have understood all these kinds of things, and if somebody is able to get connected with me and understand that I am the one, and they have got a firm understanding of that and knowledge of that, and then they worship me, then that kind of a devotion is unshakable. Avikampena, so avikampena, we saw it in the previous sloka. They have an unshakable bhakti. That unshakable bhakti is able to make them prepare to understand the Ishvara within themselves. Once once they are able to understand Ishvara within themselves, they have reached Bhagavan. That is what he says. So, iti matva vajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Okay. So, aham sarvasya prabhavaha. I am the person who created everything in this particular world. Okay. Yeah. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
Yes, Madhya.
Macchitta madgata pranaha.
Macchitta madgata pranaha. Macchitta madgata pranaha.
Bodhayantah parasparam.
Bodhayantah parasparam. Bodhayantah parasparam.
Macchitta madgata pranaha bodhayantah parasparam.
Macchitta madgata pranaha bodhayantah parasparam. Macchitta madgata pranaha bodhayantah parasparam.
Next.
Vijayalakshmi R. Bhagini.
Kathayantascha man nityam.
कथयन्तस्य मां नित्यं कथयन्तस्य मां नित्यं
Tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
दुष्यन्ति च ममन्ति च तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च
You say tushyanti, santushtah. Tu. First ta. Tushyanti.
तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च तुष्यन्ति च
Kathayantascha man.
रमन्ति च
Yeah, go ahead.
तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च
Okay. Kathayantascha man nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
कथयन्तस्य मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च कथयन्तस्य मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च
Good. Next.
K. Lalita Bhagini.
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः
बोधयन्तः परस्परम्
बोधयन्तः परस्परं बोधयन्तः परस्परं
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परम्
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं.
Good. Next.
गुरुमूर्ति महोदय.
कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च
तदयन्तश्च मां नित्यं चेंज हो गया
Sorry.
तदयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. Next.
शारदा राजन भगिनी.
First line 2 times.
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परम् मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परम्.
Good. Next.
अनुपमा भट्ट भगिनी.
Second line 2 times.
कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. Next.
श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
Full shloka once.
Yes, sir. मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. Next.
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी.
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. Next.
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी.
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. Next.
मृणालिनी गोपालन भगिनी.
Full sloka, sir.
Yes, yes.
Oh. मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. Next.
वीणा फानिश्री भगिनी.
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. Next.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी.
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Good. One more person.
लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी.
मच्चित्ता मद्गतप्राणाः बोधयन्तः परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च.
Okay. So Bhagavan says in this shloka, those who have this clear understanding, this clear vision, they are one with me. That's what Bhagavan says in this shloka. Here, if you look at the mat chitta is primarily mat chitta, their minds are in me. The person who has been able to be a devoted person with knowledge, his mind is always trying to understand Bhagavan. Okay, so mat chitta, that person is always, his mind is always in me, mat chitta. Mad gada pranaha. Pranaha means, if you look at pranayama, prana is the kind of breathing that we do. But prana in this particular sense should be taken as the kind of life. Okay, prana means life also is another meaning for that. So when you look at that, the life means the senses, the primarily the life senses are there. The life flows through all the five senses. So all those things are primarily engaged with Bhagavan only. Like he may be chanting Bhagavan's slokams, he may be closing his eyes and having a dhyana. So look at every one of the senses. All the senses are not going out, but they are trying to be inside in terms of Gata Pranaha Mat. It's all going towards Bhagavan. The life of him is going towards Bhagavan. That person has got so deeply involved with Bhagavan. So Mat Chitta, mind is also engaged. Life is also fully, thinking about Bhagavan and getting engaged with Bhagavan. And then Bodhayantaha Parasparam. Bodhayantaha means teaching. Teaching means the person who has got some kind of understanding of Bhagavan, he takes the opportunity of talking to other people and then starts talking in a very structured manner. Teaching is always structured manner. The next in line he says Katayam Taschaha. Katayam Taschaha means sometimes we also have this understanding, and then in a casual talk also we do. We have a casual talk of what all things that we have read in Bhagavad Gita, and some of the things also we may perhaps share with other people. That is Katayam Taschaha. That may not be structured. It might be coming as a sudden spurt of thinking that we just tell, oh, this is what I learned in Bhagavad Gita, this is what Bhagavan says, this is what we should do. Okay, that is Katayantaha. Bodhayantaha means that you have a very clear understanding and then trying to discuss on the understanding in a structured manner with other people, so that they also get taught, you also get taught in the bargain. So Bodhayantaha Parasparam means there is going to be a very, very good dialogue in a structured manner between people who have understood Bodhayantaha Parasparam. So these people who have got absolutely connected with Bhagavan in their mind, and they are able to have all their actions and their entire life itself is committed to Bhagavan, they are in a continuous mode of discussing in terms of teaching in a structured manner with other people, and also discussing Katayam Taschaha. They also talk with other people whenever there is an opportunity. Those who may not be properly, they are not having a proper teaching, but in the discussion they talk about this, what is the thing that we should look at the whole world of things. So Katayam Taschaha, Mam, Nityam, always. Always either they are going to be talking about me or they are going to be teaching about me with other people who are of some kind of standing. Then when you're talking with other people, then what happens when you talk to other people? You are the person, when you, supposing if you're going to have a discussion with some of your friends on a topic of your own interest, then what happens? You have a lot of joy, right? Supposing if somebody is a cinema fan, and then they start chit-chatting with other people who are also cinema fan, and then they have got tremendous, over a cup of tea they discuss, there's a tremendous amount of joy they get, right? But here these kind of people who are connected with Bhagavan, when they start talking about that to some other people, then they also get a joy, that is Ramanti. So those people, they have tremendous joy whenever they start talking about Bhagavan. And then Tushyanti. Ramanti is external, you have a joy. And Tushyanti means you have tremendous contentment when you are having a kind of discussion or a structured talk about Bhagavan. There is one is a joy, the other one is Tushyanti, means there's a tremendous inner satisfaction that you get. Tushya means contentment, satisfaction. So what happens is that these people who are having that kind of bhakti which has come out of karma yoga, antakarna chutti turns into knowledge turning into bhakti to knowledge. With knowledge you understand the glory of Bhagavan, with that you have got a bhakti and then devotion, and with that devotion you are trying to connect with Bhagavan, and you are trying to understand and become your own self or Bhagavan yourself. With that process you are getting yourself prepared, and then in this particular process when you are discussing a structured manner, it is Bodhayantaha, teaching Parasparam, one another people. They keep talking and then learning from one another, like the way we are now doing now. And then sometimes we also talk about this. And in these processes, they get tremendous amount of joy within themselves, or they also have tremendous amount of inner peace and contentment. Machitta, Madgata Pranaha, Bodhayantaha Parasparam, Kadayantaschaha Mam Nityam. Always, satatam. If you find that some of the people who have got into this particular process of spiritual understanding, when they want to know and know and know, then their thought process are continuously engaged to know some. They may be doing something, but there is always a kind of engagement to know something. I have to know about this. I have to know about that. So kadayam taschaha bodayantaha nityam mam, always, and then tushyanti ramanti. They are internally contented, and also they are enjoying whenever they have discussions with other people about Bhagavan or understanding these kinds of glories of Bhagavan. They get excited, they get so much amount of joy. So machitta makrada pranaha bodayantaha parasparam kadayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां
तेषां सततयुक्तानां तेषां सततयुक्तानां
भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं
भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम्.
Next.
Rajeshwari Shivshankar Bhagini.
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं
येन मामुपयान्ति ते
येन मामुपयान्ति ते येन मामुपयान्ति ते
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते.
Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम्
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम् तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम्.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयोन्ति ते ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयोन्ति ते.
Upayanti te. Yanti is a very, very common word in many shlokas. Yanti means they reach me or they gain me. Okay. Pitrun yanti piturvradam, deva vrata vanti deva devan, pitrun yanti piturvradam, yanti comes in lot of shlokas. At least 100 shlokas you'll get this yanti. Yanti means they reach me or they gain me, not yonti. Okay. Yanti. In Tamil we say Adaivan, Adaigirai, Adaivar.
Yes,
Ma
Mahodaya.
upayanti te. Yanti. Okay. Can you chant again the second line?
Yes, sir. ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते.
Next.
Rajalakshmi Bhagini.
First line 2 times.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम् तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम्.
Good. Next.
K. Lalita Bhagini.
Second line 2 times.
Yes, sir. ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Good. Next.
Gurumurti Mahodaya.
Full shloka once.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रतिपूर्वकम्
Preeti means love. Bhajatam Preeti Purvakam.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम् ददामि बुद्धियोगानन्दं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bagini.
येषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Good.
येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Okay, good.
Anupama Bagini.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Yena mam upayanti te. Yena mamupayanti te.
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Next.
Veena Panishri Bagini.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Good. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bagini.
आम् तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Good. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bagini.
Yes, sir. तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Good. One more person.
Sharada Rajan Bagini.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Second line again.
ददामि बुद्धियोगन्तं येन मामुपयान्ति ते
Okay, good. So, Tesha means these people or those people. Who are those people? Machita Madgada Pranaha Bodhayanta Parasparam Katayantascha Manityam Tushyanti Ravantita. These people who are having their minds continuously fixed, their life is fully merged with that of Bhagavan in terms of their entire actions. They always try to teach and learn from other people about Bhagavan. They talk about Bhagavan and then they are able to be Satatam Tushyanti Ramanti. They are always able to be contented with knowing, with trying to know Bhagavan or knowing Bhagavan. And also in the discussions with other people, they are absolutely enjoying whatever they talk about Bhagavan. So these people, Tesham, Satata Yuktanam, those people who are continuously connected with me, Tesham, Satata Yuktanam, Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. These people, these kinds of people with this kind of attitude, they worship God with so much of love, Priti Purvakam, full of love. See, now you look at the way the bhakti is now changing into love to God. No, first faith has to be understood what it was as our own religious faith to bhakti, bhakti to love. So these people have tremendous amount of love for God. Tesham Satata Yuktana, always connected with me. Bhajatam Priti Purvakam, they worship with me with so much of love. Once that is, we are talking about preparedness earlier, adhikaratvam, by doing all those things. After having knowledge, then somebody is continuous. They have knowledge, they are trying to understand Ishvara himself. They got adhikaratvam, we said. So those people, when they are doing these kinds of satatam, they are able to have this kind of bhakti purvakam, bhajatam, when they start worshipping me, then the grace of Bhagavan falls on them. Then he said, Dadami. For them I give. What did that he give? Buddhi yogam tham. The vision that is required for them to understand me. That buddhi yogam I give. That kind of grace I give it to them. Yena, whereby mam upayanti. Then they will be able to reach me. What does it mean, reaching me? Reaching me means that they will be able to understand their own self, the Atman in them, and the Atman is nothing but Sarvatman or Parabrahman. So it is not, if you look at that way, in Advaita Vedanta, we have this kind of a concept that the self is Atma itself. It is not necessary to go to Goloka. Some of the Hare Krishna, that movement, they have a different kind of understanding. What they say is that once somebody is going to be continuously engaged with the Hare Krishna, Hare Rama and kind of understanding, and then they go to Goloka where Bhagavan is there. So first of all, Bhagavan is not here. Bhagavan has already got himself transferred to Goloka. He is there. Then doing all these kinds of things, then this person also goes to Goloka. Okay. Then there he is going to merge with Bhagavan. Whereas what Bhagavan has told is that I am there. The Atman in everybody, the Chaitanyam in everybody is Bhagavan. The Chaitanya. That's so we have to understand very clearly the knower and the known. What is known is Mithya. The knower is the Satya. Knower is the Brahman. Once we know that, once we realize the self of yourself, we have reached Bhagavan. It is not necessary that somebody has to die and then go to Swargaloka or Goloka in the next birth and then meet with Bhagavan. No. They will be able to understand their own self. Mam upayati te means what? Reaching Bhagavan is nothing but understanding your own self. Drishyati nija hridayastam devam. Bhajagovindam. Last time, Gurucharana puja nirjara bhakta. That shloka, Drishyati nija hridayastam devam. You will be able to realize God within yourself. So we have to understand, our way of understanding is that it is not necessary that we have to have Swarga Loka, those lokas. After death, we do all those punyas, etc. Go there and then Brahma will teach us. No. You have to prepare yourself. And then on these preparations, you will be able to reach the self yourself. Knowing yourself is knowing Bhagavan. That is the way he has told now. Tesham satata yuktanam. Tesham means those people, Machitta, Madgada Pranaha, Bodhayantaha, Kadayantaha, whatever beside the previous sloka. Tesham satata yuktana bhajatam priti purvakam. So the bhakti becomes love. The entire bhakti that they have, once they know the reality of Bhagavan, once they know the tattva of Bhagavan, then they understand everything as Bhagavan, and then it becomes, the bhakti becomes love, priti purvakam. Then because their mind is fully prepared, dadami buddhi yogam tam, then I provide them with the grace of that particular vision. Based on which, whereby they reach to me, which means that they understand their own self. Once they understand their own self, their self and Bhagavan are no two different things. So that is, we will close with this sloka for today and then we'll continue tomorrow. Yeta vibhuti yogancha mama yo veti tatvatah sovikhampena yogena yujyate natra samshayah aham sarvasya prabhavah mattas sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam Buddha bhava samanvitaha Majchitta madgata pranaha bodhayantah parasparam katayantascha nityam tushyanti charamanti cha tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadhami buddhi yoghantam yena mamupayanti te. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari